It's not that the gold price is going up, it's the purchasing power of your dollar that's going down, and it's going to keep going down. So keep buying gold as your protection. Visit my friends at sdbullion.com and they will help get you the metal you need. Well, greetings, TFMR. It is Friday, January the 30th. How are you today? Oh my goodness gracious. Seriously. If you're sitting there saying, I can't believe this guy's laughing, what else can you do, man? Really remarkable. I remember mentioning just yesterday, in yesterday's podcast, well, even if they do smash us tomorrow, at least we're still going to be up on the month. And that is true. In fact, I'm going to show you the weekly and the monthly chart for gold. And they're fine. I mean, they look pretty good. Yeah, everybody thought it was, over bullish, and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know, maybe it was, but all the RSIs are back down under 50 again. I actually, after watching the highest volume of the week and everything washing out into the COMEX close about a half hour ago as I record this, I was with Mrs. F, sitting here with Mrs. F, and I said, I should log in and buy some calls right now because we're going to come bouncing back on Monday or Tuesday. But I didn't. You want to know why? Because that would have required me logging into my Schwab account. I just I'm not even going to look. I'm going to go have some fun this afternoon. See, last step of my 60th birthday week, which, man, this Mrs. F is just awesome. She has done so much to make these last couple of days very special. And I'm going to go I spent the morning at the Santa Anita horse track in Southern California. Spent the morning just drinking coffee, watching the horses exercise. It's great. Now we're going back there this afternoon for an 8-race card. Post time, 12:30 Pacific. Thus this podcast now. But anyway, that's what I'm doing. And it's like if I go blow a couple $100 at the track, oh my God, that is like a tenth of a basis point of what my accounts are down today. But it is, look, let's kind of keep our wits about us here, okay? This is outrageous, what they've been able to do. I mean, outrageous. Price discovery, they call it. Right. Weren't there trading limits? How was silver down 30% at one point or more? I guess there are no limits. Just no bid. I mean, it was a legit crash like you'd see, October 1929 in the stock market. Now, I don't think, again, they're not comparable. The fundamentals haven't changed, okay? What drove all this today apparently is this nomination by Trump of Warsh. Well, we've talked about Warsh as a likely Fed nominee since, last year. Remember, it was one of the two Kevins? And we were discussing that in podcasts. I never thought it was going to be Hassett because he doesn't strike me as a real serious person. But Warsh, remember, not only a Wall Street guy, but he was a Fed goon for 5 years, back around the time of the financial crisis. So if Trump's going to put somebody in there, we talked about this multiple times, that he's probably going to go with Warsh because, he's got some gravitas. But this notion that suddenly Warsh is going to be some kind of a hawk. Seriously, Trump and Bessent have a plan. It went from austerity and all this other stuff to growing our way out of it. They've laid all these, go back and read your macrocast. Nothing has changed. Warsh might be a more respectable yes man. Well, okay, he's a Fed veteran. We got to take him seriously. But he's going to be a yes man. Do you seriously think Warsh sat in the Oval Office yesterday with Trump and Bessent and wasn't on the same page with them? Come on. Do you think Trump, after all he's been through, is going to just say, I like this Warsh out. He can do whatever he wants. I might ask him to cut rates. And if he doesn't, that's what. Seriously? That's what the market is trying to tell you today. There's no way that Warsh, remember he's worked for Druckenmiller, Warsh is on the same page. There's no way that he's not. So you can go through all this mumble, and I would point out to you, yes, the dollar's up today, but only up 75 cents. And the bond market sold off a little bit today. Yeah, sure, a little bit, but not much, 1 basis point. In fact, I'll show you in a second, the chances of rate cuts this year have gone up, not down. But yet you had this cover to smash. I came up to our hotel room last night and saw all of a sudden we got from 117 to 110, and I went, uh-oh. Boy, I wonder what it's going to be in the morning. Anyway, my point is, this is about as overdone and outrageously overdone as you're ever going to see. What was, I mean, granted, Shanghai was down $7 or $8 or something like that, and it'll probably go down some on Sunday too, right? But do you think all the fundamentals in Shanghai have changed? Are the vaults suddenly going to be replenished? Is the silver demand, industrial silver demand in the East, is that going to suddenly stop? I mean, all the things that have been driving price still there. It's like gold. Again, yield curve control is coming. Warsh is going to cut. He's promised Trump. What do you think? He's going to get there and say, nope, sorry. He's some kind of plant that Trump couldn't see through that? Come on. This is just ridiculous. And man, and again, I will remind you of this too. This is not like some massive speculative flush. How many times, and we'll see the COT report again, when it comes out here in a couple hours. Just go back and listen to last Friday's podcast. Look at last Friday's COTs. And the speculators that were dumping longs and adding shorts. Yeah, they turned out okay. But it's not like it was this massive spec flush today. No chance. That's not what it was. So, look, we're now in a consolidation phase, right? For gold, that was, what has changed? I was predicting that it would break out and rally to 5,000, 5,200, something like that here in the first quarter. Yeah, we got to 5,600, whatever. Just another 20% breakout rally. It's now going to be followed by consolidation. Again, go back and read your macrocast. Please. That's what I said. When then go sideways, and it's going to rally 20% again, up to 6,000 or so. That'll be the next target by spring, summer. Look at the mining shares. I'll show you the mining share chart in a second. Gapping up, gapping up, gapping up. What do we know about equities? Almost always go back and fill those gaps, right? Well, guess what? Every single one has now been filled. So, I look, I don't know what to tell you. Like I said, I'm not even looking. I'll open my Schwab accounts Monday or Tuesday. I'm not looking today. They're still up dramatically from where they were a year ago, even a month ago. So, what can you do? If anything, I wish Trump would have waited until after the market closed today. That would have been okay. But if he had, we just would have had to endure this on Monday. Anyway, this is just so overdone that, like I said, all you can do is laugh. And we end up down on the week after the great start on the week from COMEX close Friday to COMEX close today, down $275. Silver down $23 on the week after being up, 15 through yesterday? So that's where we stand. Like I said, I'm going to take the afternoon off and have some fun. I would strongly encourage you to do the same, unless you're looking to do some dip buying. Let's see, where are we right now as I record this? It is 2 o'clock Eastern right now. And I have, a $200 bounce underway. Silver already $10 off its lows. Then back up to 84. I'm going to have to reprint the weekly charts that I've already printed for this podcast because spot is still going. So anyway, 49.21 up $200 off the lows already in COMEX gold now that the COMEX is closed. Silver 84.42 up $10 off the lows. Imagine GDX coming back a little bit too. Anyway, I don't know what to tell you. Like I said, we know these things are always possible. This is so extreme and overdone that it's so outrageous that all you can do is laugh. And then we'll just see where we go from here. All right, some screenshots on here, a number of them just from Zero Hedge that I thought you should make sure you saw because they tell the story we want to tell. Number of rate cuts actually rising from yesterday to today. Wait a second. I thought Warsh was so hawkish that silver had to fall 40%. Okay. A lot of people fell for that narrative, I guess. Gold down $5 trillion. Makes my account look small compared to that. If you add up all the gold in the world, I guess, the market cap of gold in 48 hours, from $5,600 gold to $4,800 gold. Apparently that's $5 trillion. Okay. Shanghai silver premium remains high, right? What was Shanghai? Yeah, it was down today, but again, still 120 something. Yep, we'll see what that does Sunday night. Silver's RSI went from, this is what the weekly RSI, daily RSI, whatever, is all the way up here at about 90. This shows it at below 50. The chart I have for you will show it below 50. And finally, again, obviously, across the board, not just gold and silver. It was everybody today. Platinum just completely gorged. At the close, we'll put this on here before and then I'll put another one later. I screenshot this at the close, how close we were to the lows. A little over a half hour ago. COMEX gold closed 47. This was at the silver close. So about silver closed 77.70. Like I said, what do we have now? 83.70. Okay. Again, we'll see what happens. All right, and finally to all your charts. What do we have here? Dollar on the daily chart, okay? Getting back above. Looking like maybe it just went down to the bottom of the range and ready to bounce again. Well, we'll see about that. Again, this war stuff, way overblown. Unless you think Trump is a fool, and I know some of you think he is. I don't think he's whatever he is, but he's not stupid. And he's not putting Warsh in there just to work against him the way Powell has been. I mean, if you think, whatever, believe what you want. Anyway, weekly chart of the dollar. Again, getting back above, almost back above. I think it's back below 97 now as I record this. But anyway, you get the. All right, then let's burn through this. Here's gold on the week into the COMEX close. Okay? I'm not going to update this one. This was at the COMEX close. And look at this washout. But look at gold's volume today. Nothing like what happened yesterday. Oh, and I think we have our answer to yesterday now, don't we? I think the word got out, passed around Wall Street. Shh, don't tell anybody. Trump's going to announce wars later today. Now we know why there was this huge liquidation of everything yesterday, right? Now we remember I was searching around. War drums, what's going on here? I can't find a reason. Mentioned that. I mean, that's all part of yesterday's podcast. Well, I guess we know now. Look at that, but anyway, highest volume of the week was yesterday. Not so much in silver, highest volume of the week at the COMEX close today. The last 15 minutes, highest volume of the week. Talk about a wash. That's a very definition of a washout. Bounce is coming. Probably back up into the 90s, 94, 96. And then we'll see if we can't stabilize. Again, even at this price, we're talking $82 silver, up $10 on the month. Let's try to keep this in perspective. All right, first gold. Gold on the daily chart. RSI back under 50 when I shot this. Now at the COMEX close, price was below the New Year trend line, right? And below the 20-day moving average at 47.73. However, right now, as I speak, it's 49.20. So we're back above. Gold on the weekly chart. Again, when I printed this, okay, yeah, you know, it looks like a blow off top for a while. But big deal. I mean, look at these last 4 green candles. Or we had, 3 massive green candles in a row. I mean, we're still up on the year. And then here's an early look at your monthly chart. I'll reprint this, maybe start a new thread on Sunday like I promised. It's even with this big, huge wick hanging out the top, gold is going to close the month above the December intra-month high. I don't have to repeat myself again about that, how bullish those are, right? Where there's but the weekly, the monthly, you close above the previous intra-month high, the trend is up. Yeah, would it have been fun to close all the way up here above 5,000? Sure. And maybe we will by the time we still got 3 hours to go here. But again, this is not, whatever, this is ugly today, but it's not terrible. Silver on the daily chart, well, that's gnarly. Now below its trend line from November 21st, below the 20-day moving average, still above the 50, and its RSI back to 44. Silver on the weekly chart, again, has recovered. I printed this at 78. It's now 83. Okay, that's an ugly weekly candle. Yeah, sure, of course it is. And it's probably going to be a while before we get back into those triple digits. But it's not, again, there's going to be people out there saying, yeah, we're not going to see silver this high again for another 15 years, which is dead wrong. Silver on the monthly chart, okay, it's not going to exceed the intra-month high from December. But again, what's wrong with consolidating for a while? And then finally, the GDX came all the way down and filled that last gap. See the purple line off that gap from, what about that, 7th or 8th of January? Filled all of them. Now even left one up here that we got to go up and fill. And still, got rejected at our old, where I told you it was going to come up from the underside. So I stopped drawing that. Off the lows, okay, down here at 68 in early November, that trend line is still up. And we got all these great earnings coming. So if you were buying the dip today and some of these shares that are just outrageously smashed, that's probably going to turn out okay. Even though the weekly chart, that's ugly and all that kind of stuff. But there are other weekly red candles here along the way over the last 12 months that have been pretty gnarly too. Not as big as that one, but it's only that big because of where price is. And finally, GDX on the monthly chart, again, just like gold, it's going to close the month above the previous intra-month high. So long term, trend continues through the noise, through the extreme overreaction, as if all of the stuff that Trump and Bessent have been planning now for a year is suddenly thrown out the window because Warsh is going to contradict them. You seriously think Trump is going to put him in to be the Fed to contradict what Trump and Bessent want? There's no way that Warsh didn't sit in the Oval Office. Now, maybe he's a lying sack of shit and completely fooled Trump and Bessent. Probably not. So anyway. Okay, where are we right now? We are $200 off the COMEX close, up in the last 40 minutes in gold. We are $8 up in silver. We're now up to 85 off the low of 74. Yeah, it's still ugly, down $29. That's a pretty good size move, right? Can't wait to see what happens Sunday, Monday, all of next week. We got a BLSBS next week too. Anyway, all right, that's it. Post time is in an hour and 15 minutes. So I got other stuff I got to do, man. So I'm going to wrap this up here, get it posted, let you have some fun with this thread, and then go have some fun. I mean, for God's sake, I know this is ugly, and it's terrible, but we're still right now 4,936 for gold, $85 for silver, 85, not 25, not even 45, 85. So, put a smile on your face, have a nice weekend, and look for some kind of new thread. We'll update all these charts before we restart on Sunday. Thanks for listening. We'll see you then. This is your pal Turd Ferguson signing off, and I'm out.